What's going on? Welcome to Truth Wizard. Welcome back to Truth Wizard. Good to see you. Good to have you again. Good to be here as usual. Today, we're going to have a little look at some creepy hotels because I think we can all agree that a lot of hotels are just inherently creepy. Even your average Holiday Inn, when you walk down the hallway, it's just so repetitive and typically just really quiet, like unusually quiet. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, yesterday I went down a whole rabbit hole, started looking at some creepy, allegedly haunted hotels, and I thought I would share some of those clips with you. So let's take a little look and go ahead and dive on in. They didn't look very scared. You know? I'm gonna assume that's not so much haunted, but one of their friends just pushed the cart into the lobby. Just, I don't know. They didn't look convinced at all, and neither am I.
One time I accidentally booked the most haunted hotel in Chicago for my friend and I am no longer allowed to book hotels. My friend and I were traveling to Chicago. It was my first time. She had been there before. I just went online. I found a hotel that was not super expensive, good reviews, and centrally located. And that was the Congress Plaza Hotel in Chicago, which is the most haunted building in Chicago. Supposedly. We get into Chicago at like 11 o'clock at night. We get into an Uber from the airport to our hotel. Uber driver's being really chatty. We pull up to the Congress Plaza Hotel and he says, "Oh, my daughter's obsessed with this hotel. It's the most haunted hotel in Chicago." And we said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, she really wants to stay the night here because it's supposedly really haunted." And we were like, "Please tell us you're joking." He was not joking and pulled up and was like, "Okay, see ya, have a good stay." At this point, we're terrified because I cannot do haunted. My friend cannot do haunted. Even like the idea of it being haunted, whether or not it actually was, we just were like, we're not going to sleep. This is the worst. This is worst case scenario. Okay, this is the hotel that we pull up to. You can't really tell in this, but it's like pretty old. It was built in like the 1800s, like the late 1800s was when it was like booming. This is the lobby that we walked in. No one's in the lobby. And granted, it's 11 o'clock at night, but still it felt very like we had the idea of it being haunted in our minds. So that colored our experience here. We check in with the bellhop and we're like, haha, our Uber driver just said this place is haunted, hoping he'll be like, "Oh, that's just rumors. Like we never have any issues." And he's like, yeah, we get that a lot. So he didn't reassure us at all. He basically confirmed. So at that point, we're like, okay, stick it out. We can do this. We go to the elevator. This is the elevator. Beautiful. We get in. Our room was on.
That seems very reminiscent of Tower of Terror at Disney. And I don't know about you, but me, I would be all in. You book a room here, I'm all in. If you watched any of my other videos, I forget which one it was in at this point. Doesn't really matter. Go back and watch some of them, all of them, please and thank you. But there was a video I mentioned. I've experienced some weird stuff in multiple houses, things I cannot explain. One of the houses was very unsettling, creepy feeling. The other house, not at all. There was just very unexplainable things that went on. But no bad vibes, no bad juju, none of that stuff. And I just didn't feel it. Never was a concern. So I also am the person that I don't automatically assume or believe that anything that is supernatural or it's unexplainable is just automatically bad. I'm just not that person. So again, sign me up for the haunted hotel stay because I would love to see some more things. It's just intriguing. I am just very intrigued by it. All my Jesus warriors are going to come with torches and pitchforks now to the comments, likely, or just turn this video off. Boy, I can't wait.
The 11th floor. Let's just get to the room and we'll see how we feel, is what we decided. Because again, it's like 11:30 at this point. So we get in the elevator. I push 11. Elevator takes us up. Doors open. Pitch black. Just a pitch black hallway. And we said, nope, and went back to the lobby because there was not a shot in hell we were walking down a dark corridor in a supposedly haunted hotel. This is the ballroom. Just wanted to show you.
God.
It's very pretty, supposedly very haunted. Anyway, so we go back to the lobby. We find a different bellhop this time. Mind you, they're dressed like they are from the 1800s, like red cap, red like button, whatever. Very old school bellhop outfit.
Like, they built a hotel. This is a hotel. They built this to be a hotel. Look at this place. That's wild, man. That is insane. And now to think that if you just want to go somewhere, have a average stay, you get a box. The building itself is a literal just rectangle or a box. Sterile white walls in every place you go. Cheap carpet. Cheap furniture. And look at this. And this was built in the 1800s. I mean, it allegedly. It could have been built before that, but I promised we weren't going to get into conspiracy time today, so we're not even going to go there. But I mean, come on. That's crazy. It's a nice hotel.
And we're like, hey, so we just got on the elevator and it opened to a dark corridor. And he goes, oh yeah, like that happens sometimes. Just try again and it'll work. And we said, what happens sometimes? What do you mean? Anyway, so I don't know how we did it.
Yeah, what did he mean?
How we made ourselves do it, but we went up that elevator again and we walked all the way to our room. Now, these are the hallways, and it doesn't look very eerie because it's not nighttime. The windows are open. But imagine this. If you can see, at the end of this hallway is a door with a tiny window in it. We have to walk through. We probably walked through 3 doors like that down the hallway. It was like a labyrinth. The walls kept like curving around, and we would like curve around, and there's all these room numbers, and then we get to another door with a hole in it, and we'd have to walk through that. This is kind of like a better image of like how the walls went. Anyway, and here's a better picture of the door with the little window in it, which just felt very insane asylum to me. Spooky. Okay, anyway, we get to our room. It looks a little bit like this. I don't remember exactly what it looked like. We were just freaked out at that point. There was no chance that we were going to stay there. So we got on the phone, found a hotel nearby that had vacancy. We go back to the lobby.
Doesn't look very haunted.
They were super nice. They didn't end up charging us. We were like, I'm so sorry. I know we're annoying, but we can't stay here. Like, we can't do haunted. Wow. So at that point, we were like, we're not looking anything up about this hotel until tomorrow. So we got to the new hotel, went to sleep, still didn't sleep great. But the next day we were like, okay, let's Google what this hotel is really about. And this is what we found out. Okay, this is from an article in CBS News, but quoting Chicago Hauntings Ghost Tours. But basically saying it's a super haunted place in Chicago, describes it as being very creepy. It's also like very historical, like a lot of presidents stayed there. Al Capone had like a residence there for a while. And another creepy historical figure was like H.H. Holmes was rumored to frequent the lobby there and like find victims. If you haven't read Devil in the White City, do that now. So there have been many documented at the hotel, too many to try to start a comprehensive list. That's how many there have been. I'm not going to go through this one, but you can pause to read. But his ghost is referred to as the Shadow Man. The most haunted floor is the 12th floor, which is rumored to be haunted by a little boy. And they connect it to the death of Carol Langer, who was a little boy, and his, hold on, This is his mom. You can pause to read.
Hmm. I'm not reading this out loud. You're having to do this on your own. Sorry.
But basically, she threw her children from a window and then herself. But basically, a lot of people have reported seeing a little boy in the hallway running around. No, thank you. Room 441 is on the fourth floor, and it is supposedly the most haunted room. Many people report calling security because they see a woman standing or hovering over their bed, pushing or tugging on the bed, pulling off their covers.
That's such a common thing. Usually, haunted hotel stuff, that's always a reoccurring theme. People wake up and report seeing someone or something like standing over the bed looking at them. And I wonder if how many of those sightings are authentic and real, or how much of that could be psychological, like your eyes playing tricks on your mind, playing tricks on you. And I don't for a second believe that's not a real situation. I don't think that that's every single time, every single, haunting or sighting of sorts that takes place. But it's very interesting why it's always a thing. It's always a something looking at you. Weirdo ghost, man.
That scare me so much, and actually probably would have loved to see Peg Leg Johnny. He's just kind of like a funny ghost who roams the hallways. The ballroom that I showed you, there's also rumors
Allegedly.
about that. It's called the Gold Room, haunted by a ghost of an old woman. Some have reportedly had her in photographs from their weddings. There's also rumors that photos will be taken and like bridesmaids don't show up in the photos, even though they were supposed to be there. And this is what really got us. Legend has it that the elevator often makes unplanned stops on the 8th floor. Remember how our elevator opened up to a dark corridor? Our theory at the time, because something that we Googled, which I can't find now, and I don't have any proof that this is true, but there were rumors on these blogs that the 12th floor was completely shut down because it was so haunted. So what we thought happened was our elevator opened on the 12th floor instead of the 11th floor. And that's why it was dark, because it's a closed off floor. I have no idea if that's true, but that's what we thought. Another thing about the elevators. So fun. Anyway, if you're into haunted things, I've heard it's fun to stay at the Congress Plaza Hotel. I will not be joining you, but I wish you the best of luck. Until Peg Leg Johnny, I say hello.
We stayed on the 14th floor of the Emily Morgan Hotel in San Antonio, Texas.
She's saying all that about Peg Leg Johnny, and he's probably the most evil ghost in the damn hotel.
Texas. It overlooks the Alamo and is considered the third most haunted hotel in the world. It was a medical center, and the 14th floor still smells like it. We opened our door often, but no hospital scenes appeared. There's no 13th floor nor room 1408 because 1 plus 4 plus 0 plus 8 is equal to 13. The pool is said to have been constructed out of steel from the medical center's operating tables. Creepy, but fun. We investigated the 14th floor. It was the hospital's surgical area. The 12th floor, which housed the operating rooms. And the 7th floor, said to be the most haunted. A ghost bride walks the halls. This is where we captured a shadow figure. It appears to our left. Again. Here is the clip looped. And a screenshot.
I mean,
what do you think?
The
ghost bride? A patient?
Weird. But hard to say. Very hard to say. I don't know.
I just came from the Cecil Hotel, and let me tell you guys, it is so much worse in there than you could possibly imagine. So we just filmed a paranormal investigation in there, and it is the darkest energy I think I've ever come across, or at least some of it. Like, literally, this woman is telling us she lives in there. There was recently a man who died, and he was in his room in the Cecil for a week, rotting. And for that entire week, another person was living in the room with their old roommate's decomposing body.
How?
And apparently, according to them,
how do you do that? How is that even possible? That is that is really bizarre. That's weirdo activity at the peak level. And by the way, if you don't know, this Cecil Hotel, I'm 99.9% positive this is the hotel that American Horror Story was kind of fashioned the hotel season after, and this is in LA around and by Skid Row. So I do think that it's been used. From what I've seen, it was like a low income housing, basically kind of converted to that from a hotel, but was a hotel for a long time. And this was the hotel that I believe the year was 2013. I think I have that accurate. It was somewhere in that ballpark, 2012, 2014. So one of those 3 years there, that the young girl, the Asian student who was traveling and was in LA on vacation, if I have that right, who was caught on the hotel security footage cameras acting kind of erratic, was on the elevator acting a bit odd, strange. She totally went missing, and they found her in the water tank on the roof of the hotel. And that was at, I don't know, it was a week, 2 weeks later. It was I recall it being an extended amount of time after she went missing. I mean, long enough. Anyhow, so this hotel is just very, very bizarre, very off.
This just happened like 2 weeks ago in there. I was also talking to another guy who lives there, and he said that just last year he watched as somebody threw themselves off of the roof with something tied around their neck and ended their life. And this person said they knew this person, they were very close, and afterwards they went and found their journal with a bunch of disturbing diary entries. I mean, I do paranormal investigations all the time, full time as a content creator, and you guys just don't have any idea how truly bad it is in there. I mean, and also we saw everything from feces on the floor and on the walls to open usage of substances. There were also rats and animals in there.
I mean, like I said, from what I saw about this place, it is quite literally right in Skid Row. So this shouldn't be surprising, I suppose. And I mean, this is kind of one of those, it's a shame kind of situations, because it's a shame that you have a building to get folks off the streets. So you would think they would be living better. They would want to live better, like they were not on the streets. And then you hear this. It's so damn sad, man.
Saw stains everywhere. I mean, it was like the darkest hellhole of energy even that I can possibly describe. And like, we've been to the demonic places, like the Sally House. We've been to every demonic place ever, and like what I just experienced was so much beyond anything that we've ever encountered. I mean, like, truly fucking dark energy. So all the stories and the things that you've read about this hotel, they are true, and the energy and the vibe there is like worse than you could possibly imagine. And that documentary will be on my YouTube channel soon. Just thought I'd tell you guys because it's fucking crazy. Anybody else been there that has a story to share?
Gonna have to look that up.
I would love to hear them.
This hallway. Tell me. Okay, see what I'm seeing. I see a shadow. Oh my god, no.
I don't know if you can hear her, but toward the end there, she said, "Oh my God, no." That's funny. That's like good old school YouTube, man, when people were doing just silly stuff and discredited any authentic sighting, but that's just funny. Good for y'all. Good for y'all having a good damn time. Jeez, we need more of that wholesome comedy these days, don't we? Anyway, back to the Congress Plaza Hotel. Look at this place, man. Just those creepy, sterile hallways. Look at the detail in the elevators. The elevator doors. Oh, wow. It's trippy, man. There's the hallways that other girl was talking about with the square windows on those doors. I bet those vending machine prices are really scary. You're welcome. Oh, that's that ballroom. That's pretty. That's crazy. What the hell is that? All right, hold on. We're not getting into conspiracy stuff, but I just have to ask, do you really think this was built to be a hotel? Or parts of this building were constructed for some other use, and then they added other parts of the building or buildings and constructed that as a hotel and just kind of joined everything together? This seems insane that they did all this just to be a hotel in the late 1800s.
If you were on my live the other night, then you would know that the Hotel Cecil has been crazy lately. I just was woken up by somebody screaming in here saying someone got murdered. It's the 6th floor right here. 623. It's there. And then I was woken up again in the morning to this. Shit, we're going into the Cecil.
Lovely.
Now, I don't know if they're related, but this place is worse than it's ever been, so probably not. But clearly, that's not enough drama for one day at the Cecil, so they had a grand finale. This is just non-stop. All this in 24 hours. I am tired. The amount of screams and gunshots that I hear from inside there is now literally all the time. I've seen them bring out body bags. I've seen them waving guns around in the window. I was held at gunpoint last time I was walking around in there. This hotel is entering its darkest era yet. The worst part is that it's doing so silently. Nobody even knows. Guess I'll let you know what happens in the next 24 hours. Oh, I hear something now.
This totally screams New Orleans. I hadn't seen the location of this prior to putting this video on here, and I was kind of getting that New Orleans kind of vibe and look, and it was the correct vibe and look. Dude, New Orleans has some creepy places. If you've never been to New Orleans and you are looking to go just in person, see the exterior of some of these places, you should go. It would be a good time. Long time ago, I went to New Orleans with my sister and two friends, and we wanted to do a ghost tour, but we were like, man, we're not paying, $20 to do no ghost tour. And this was a long time ago, so $20 was a decent amount for the ghost tour. So I decided to go online and look up just, some of the most haunted places in New Orleans. Well, guess what? Not all, but I would say the majority, over half of the places that we went to, as we just happened to, on our own time, be walking, we saw one of the ghost tours at those same locations and spots. So did pretty good finding those places. The only bonus was some of these hotels we decided to walk into ourselves and kind of roam around and check out. And oh my God, some of them were very, very creepy. And it was so long ago, I don't recall specifically what the hotels were. I remember one of them being on Decatur Street down towards the French Market, I want to say. Do not remember what it was, but that place was super creepy.
They are ghost hunting at our hotel. Hold on.
Well, duh.
That is crazy.
Ninth floor.
Why is it that most hotels, even if it's a busy hotel, you hardly ever see anyone in the hallways? It's so crazy. You go to Vegas, the hotels there, well, at least at the Cosmo, man, you hardly ever see anyone in the hallways. The only time I've seen a significant amount of people there is when it was really, really busy and the hotel elevators were getting backed up. And I believe at one point there was a trip where one or two of the elevators were not working in one of the towers. And, we ended up seeing 20, 30 bodies on our floor, all at the elevators waiting to get down. And it was a pain in the butt. Outside of that, either tower did not matter. Didn't matter on the what was that? The 60th floor at a couple of stays, and then even to the 40s or 20s, didn't matter. We'd hardly see anybody in the hotel hallways. So weird, so creepy to me. I don't know why. It's just kind of off-putting. It's very strange. That's that psychology part. I don't hear anything.
I stayed the night at the haunted clown motel. There's over 3,000 clowns here.
You know,
All the
speaking of Vegas, outside of Vegas, this hotel exists. I'm not scared of clowns. Clowns don't bother me. Like, just the clowns, I don't really, doesn't matter. Like, whatever. But this hotel or motel, whatever, for different reasons, it's creepy to me, but not the clowns. Tell me if you're like that. I know everybody's got a weakness for clowns, or most everybody has a weakness for clowns. That's not the problem for me. I would still stay here in a heartbeat.
rooms are different themes. 5 feet away of the motel is a cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like I'm gonna need to book a trip down to New Orleans and go do some more ghost hunting for the first time in, God, it's been over 10 years since I've been there. It's been a long time. And I can get there by car relatively quickly, so I don't really have a good excuse at this point not to go. So maybe I need to put that on the agenda. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you had a good peek at some of these haunted, creepy hotels, allegedly haunted, because, you know, people could be just making things up, or I don't know, are they? If you have any other good suggestions of clips, haunted hotels, anything for me, let me know. Drop one in the comments. I'm sure I'll keep looking on my own still. My brain's kind of once again on this rabbit trail of haunted, spooky things for hotels. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good day. Have a good night. Like, subscribe, come back, and I will see you in the next one.